Hello, everyone. Um, so today's episode is Inferno, and unfortunately, today's going to be the toughest episode to explain because, just as a background, Inferno's older than me, and I'm 20 years old. All right, Inferno was released in 2001, so it just so happens that some of the callouts just aren't gonna make sense because it existed in the old layout and it just was changed because Inferno went through so many updates. But well, I'm joined here by my lovely assistant Tony over here because of the because of all the pizzas here. Hey, Tony, he's gonna be my little assistant. Obviously, starting off, we're going to have T-spawn right over here, guys. This is called T-ramp because it's a ramp that comes out of T-spawn. I hope that's pretty obvious. Here's the most common spot you'll find someone holding that angle in. Coming out of T-ramp, this is going to be the middle of the map. Say it with me. Therefore, the kala is mid, short for middle. Now, this tunnel over here is it's called Mexico because, haha, border crossing through the tunnels. It's just what it's called. It's called Mexico. Okay, using the context clue that Counter-Strike players usually go for the easiest call out possible, and they usually name things after the shape that they resemble, I think I don't have to say what this should be called, and I think it's further reinforced by the fact that this poster exists over here as well. Bear with me on this one. Back in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, there used to be a car here. So this call out is called car. Don't call this barrels because barrels is right over there. I know it's really stupid, but you have to bear with me and just trust me that this is called car because there used to be a car here back in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. The most common spot for car is right over here behind this wood board. This is called sandbags. As per usual, any bag that has some sort of construction related mix, such as concrete, will be called sandbag. And I think it's pretty obvious what angle you should expect to be held from sandbags. This is the B bomb site, as suggested by the giant letter B over there. And what's something that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually plant the bomb inside of the fountain, because technically it is inside of the bomb plant area, suggested by this area over here, this general shape. All right, while we're at the B bomb site, obviously this is called fountain. There's no complaints about that, but this is where you're gonna have to start using your imagination. During the first release of Inferno, these two boxes used to have a stand that would sell oranges. So you would think, hey, it's a stand selling oranges. Let's call it oranges because it has a bunch of oranges in it. So this is called oranges. This is also called oranges. And if you really want to get specific, this is one, this is two. Oranges one, oranges two. This is called new box because when Inferno first released, this box did not exist. And when it was released and the map got updated with this box, people started calling it new box because at the time it was a new box. But not anymore. This is just a normal box that people call new box. And to save me a little bit of trouble explaining stuff, obviously there's a graffiti here that says coffin because this call out is coffin. Back in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, there used to be a bunch of coffins in here, so people would call this coffin. And finally, the one that actually does make sense is dark. This corner over here is called dark because it's tucked away in a hidden corner without the light shining on this. So, it's called dark because it's hidden away from the sunlight. And it's in a far off corner. Obviously, depending on where the enemy is, you can call this top oranges, in between oranges, and outside oranges. This little wall is called boost, and as the name might suggest, you can actually boost on top of here if you have another player boost you up. The really nice thing about this position and why it's so important is that most of the time the T's will have smoked off this area to cross into the B bomb site, However, if you were to boost above it, you have a very clear angle onto the entirety of B bomb site, allowing you to defend it, even though your main angle is covered up by a smoke. I sincerely hope that it is very clear from the glass panes, the statue, the podium, that this is a church. We have finally traversed to CT spawn. As generous as this callout is, you can call this either truck because of the big green truck here, or, well, you know, a certain name of a plant that grows a hard trunk and is very tall in height. Now, to set up the context for this next callout, I'm going to show you guys the perspective of a player who is the B anchor rotating over to the A side. So when you walk through here, you might notice that there's two very distinct ways you can go. You can either curve all the way around through CT spawn, or you can hop over these fences and walk through over here. One might even say that this is the faster way to get to the A bomb site. Or Speedway is its call out. Haha, get it? Because it's the speedier way to get to the A bomb site. This area is called Arches, or Arch. Guys, I mean, like, I'm not making this shit up. You know, we really do just call shit what it is. If we see an archway, we call this arch. Of course, here's a common angle you might see someone holding arches. Guys, we're gonna have to use our imagination again. This call out is moped because there used to be a moped over here. And this call out used to be moto, short for motorcycle, because there used to be a motorcycle here. Do you see where I'm getting at? This is motorcycle, and this is moped. Two very different vehicles. Quite obviously, the goal of moped is to catch the players pushing onto the A bomb site through the left side of mid, off guard, as this spot is not often checked. And I know it's tempting to call this area winery or wine because of all the wines and various types of champagne and alcohol in here, but it used to be a library with a bunch of books in it. So please, when you get into matchmaking, just call this library unless your teammates insist on calling it wine, in which case you can use the more intuitive call out due to this map's update. My job is just getting harder and harder and harder as I have to look at things that are clearly not what I say they are and look at your face and say it's this. Like, for example, I'm clearly looking at this ticket booth or library or like this key fob, this reception, this desk looking thing, and I am telling you it's boiler because for 10 fucking years there used to be a boiler inside of here until they decided to change it to make me and only my life harder. Moving on, this is called House, and if you want to, yeah, I'm still thinking about boiler, but this is called House. Occasionally, you'll find enemies up here on the roof, so you can just say above house, or they're boosted, whichever one works for you. And to show you guys how to solo boost yourself, if you so wish to, my apologies, you basically get onto that railing over there, jump here, jump here. Be wary of this part of the roofing here. You might bump your head while jumping from this part over to the main roof, so do be careful of that. This takes a considerable amount of practice, I do want to warn you. We have now made it onto the main A bomb site. This next area I'm about to show you is called Ninja because it often doesn't get checked. This is back site because it's the back corner of the bomb site. And I know this seems like a stretch as well, but this is called graveyard because it used to look like a graveyard because there used to be a big wall over here like that hid the stairs, and there used to be these spikes on top of the walls that kind of made it look like a graveyard. But unfortunately not anymore, so you're gonna have to just call this a graveyard. And don't get this confused with coffins. And next up, this is called pit because it's kind of a pit on the ground. And this is called mini pit because it looks pretty much exactly like pit, except it's just smaller on a miniature scale, if you will. Pretty obvious where the pit player will be holding, like literally pit in the nice window they have. Exact same thing for a mini pit. Make sure to always clear this. Or you might even have to clear it this way as well. Bang, bang. All right, I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds to look at this balcony looking area and give me a guess as to what it could possibly be called. Ready? You got your guess? Was it balcony? Yeah, you're goddamn right. It's balcony. This area over here is called apartments. I mean, I hope it's kind of reasonable why it's apartments, you know? It also includes these stairs, and over here is boiler. And bear with me again, this used to be a bedroom and not a guest room. So this is called bedroom. And this doorway here used to be just a window. And just coming out of apartments, over on this side is another set of apartments. And you might be thinking, oh, well, there's 2 apartments. What am I going to call either one? Well, guess what? The one that's closer to T-spawn over there is going to get called T-apps. And the one closer to the bomb site is going to get called actual apartments. And as you can see, I'm standing on a bridge. I'm going to give you guys 2 seconds to guess what this callout is. You're goddamn right, it's called bridge. So we already established that this is the middle of the map. So just a little bit over, this is going to be called alt mid, for alternative mid, because it's on the alternate side of the actual mid. It's the alternative way to go instead of the real mid. Come on, guys. It should be intuitive enough, right? Closing off the actual callouts, there's one very important distinction here. So I didn't realize that this was a thing until it was pointed out to me in one of the previous episodes. The NA and EU have very differing opinions on what to call short long. So I just want to make it very clear that if you're in NA, this area is most likely called lane, and the exact opposite side, this area, is called arches, or you can also call it moto, because of the motorcycle that was allegedly there. So, just to recap, this is arches or moto, and over there is lane. And if you're in EU, they call this short, because it's the shorter way to get to the A-bomb site. And they call this area over here long, because it's the longer way to get to the A-bomb site. I hope that should clear up any sort of differences and confusion that might arise. And as per usual, you can't forget the most important call out of any game, which is, he's right over there, oh my god, he's right over there, he's right